good.
We're rolling.
Okay. Call a meeting to order. First on the agenda is review and approve September 26, 2025 minutes. Any deletions, corrections, or anything we need to add to that?
If not, I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll second.
Okay. So moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. David.
Let's see, Brandon, have you got that in there? There we go. Of course, we're looking at the list of checks that have been written since our last meeting. Some of these were approved at the last meeting, but I'll just review them. You see $30,545. That was for the purchase of water meters. I don't remember how many we got there, but that's the bulk of them, isn't it?
And yeah, there might be 10 or 12 more we need to do later, but that should be the majority of them.
And about halfway in the middle of halfway in the page, there's 11,128. That's the lease on the loader. Backhoe.
David?
Yeah.
Were the water meters under the, one of those, the water improvement project budget?
Well, I intended it to be that way, but I didn't see it on the latest claim that Devin sent to me. Did you give him the invoice?
I did give him the invoice, and I made sure to tell him to put that on there, but I haven't seen that latest one he sent me, so.
I got that late yesterday and haven't had time to study that, but I just glanced through it. I didn't see that particular item on there.
There shouldn't be any reason it couldn't be on there, so I'll get a hold of him today and make sure
Okay.
it's on there. Can you send me what he sent you?
Yeah.
So I can see it.
Other than that, there's nothing out of the ordinary. Any questions or on any of that? The second page, since I have moved to St. George, Heidi's picking up the mail, and I've got some bills here to pay, but I haven't listed them on this sheet. They're just the power bill and the credit card bill. I don't know I'm not sure what we've charged on the credit card this month, which is probably very...
This month? I don't think I put anything on there other than maybe the phone bill. Okay, so, and we've got your bank accounts listed below and the accounts receivable. That looks like a high amount, but we sent the bills out, we sent statements out 1st of October, and people will be getting payments starting. You know, we've gotten a few, but we'll get more now that the month's almost over. So, any questions or comments about any of that? Try to answer.
Not hearing anything, I'll make a motion to approve the financials as presented by Dave.
Thanks, Bill.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Project update. That didn't sound good.
So, I do believe it was after the last meeting we had an issue with the pumps that were installed at the triple chair that went out in an email. Those just got installed yesterday, the new ones. They're flowing water. Now we gotta have the SCADA guy come back and program for the new pumps. Everything else is done on the projects.
Okay.
Brandon, who did you buy those pumps from?
Mountain Land, and I do believe it's going through the project through May, so it'll just end up on that last pay.
All right.
So we used the drives and everything.
We were able to save the drives and the motors, which saved us like $30,000.
Good.
So that's good.
When you say pumps, is there a primary and a backup, or are there two pumps running?
There's a primary and a backup, but we run them, so every other pump cycle, the other one
Okay.
runs so that they don't get wore out.
Got it.
I can run full-time if one goes down, so that's part of the plan there, but. Yeah, that's pretty much it on the project. They're
Great.
done, other than finishing up that paperwork stuff.
Like I mentioned earlier, I got the paperwork on the final claim. I guess it's the final claim.
Yeah, I believe he added all this pump stuff into that, so,
Was that Devin?
Nate.
Oh, Nate.
Sunrise, yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yep.
So next meeting, I'll bring the final paperwork on that so you can see how it came out.
And then with the other project, with the government shutdown stuff going on, how's that working out for paying out that last
I
payout?
just got the payout of the final claim on that one just a few days ago.
Okay. So they're good.
They're slow, but it came through.
Perfect. Is that for the assessment area or for the water?
The assessment area.
So that's all paid up, done now?
I think so,
I
For
believe
the
that's
year,
the last
right?
one.
For the year,
forever.
forever?
Yeah, they're done.
Are we gonna be able to make any adjustments for money that came in? We're going to apply into our balance for paying the bond back.
That's something that would have to go through Sunrise since they submit the claim.
Cause there were like a couple, like George Lee made Bill him, was paying half of his assessment, but he already put in the assessment, and so we need to, if it's possible, to credit the loan back into the payment fund, so we can just, have that money and stuff like that.
I think that's something we have to work out with someone.
Is there any extra money
I think there is.
And since you brought up the next meeting, it's on November 14th.
We have to do the tentative budget then.
Yeah.
Does that have to be advertised?
The tentative budget, I don't think does, but the other budget hearing does.
Yeah. We're having it on the 14th.
Yes, it's the 14th. This November meeting.
that already scheduled?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll have to,
Yes, it's already on our schedule. Post.
Okay.
So Brandon, with that being the tentative budget, I'd like to get from you estimates of what you think you're gonna have next year for repairs and gravel and all of that, so we can put that into the budget.
Yeah, we can do that.
You guys should look at crack sealing the Upper Meadows Road.
I've already been in contact with the county on that. I believe that was going into this next year.
Yeah.
I was working with Corey Beebe, and then that all happened, so now I'm working with Stetson to get that repaired.
Is that the Upper Lodge Road?
Yeah.
Okay.
You mean the short one, the patch that I was talking about?
No, the whole road.
Oh, the whole road, okay, yeah.
We were talking about getting that chip sealed.
Oh, it's chip seal?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a whole nother.
That works.
We did that once during I think we did that 7, 8 years ago, didn't we?
Yeah, so when I was talking with Corey, he said when they did that, it was done on such a short notice that they didn't get the proper oil and tar
Yeah,
for
right,
that
it didn't
elevation.
really adhere.
Right, so we've been working ahead of time this time so they can make sure they get
Okay.
the right stuff, because I don't know what I'm doing on that stuff. So, that's where we're at on that.
Okay.
The last time we did that, it was $30-something thousand to do the chip seal.
That was 7 or 8 years ago, prices have gone up a little bit. He hasn't given me a price just yet, but I'm gonna guess it's closer to 50 than it is 30. So, but I gotta wait to see what he gives me on the price. I haven't seen that yet.
Okay.
Last month we talked about getting gravel put on the roads. Did you do any of that?
I did, I ordered 30 loads of asphalt millings to put down instead of gravel, in hopes that it'll compact and won't wash away like the dirt. So, they're still in the process of ordering it.
And who'd you get that from?
Yardley.
It goes in, it runs to the dirt, it's really good.
So we'll see how that works out. If that works out good, then we can continue to get that stuff. But I think it's gonna, because it doesn't just wash away all the fines like the road base does.
It has the oil base back in its recycled asphalt product. You've seen them, they asphalt, and they have a truck there with a conveyor that loads it all in stuff. And, I've been a part of that dust collection for a long, long time, and it's really good because it just holds the dirt together. And it's almost, if you get it packed down, it's almost as good as road.
Yeah, it's gritty.
Yeah, it's really gritty and it's really
Do you have
fun.
any idea how much that's gonna cost?
30 grand.
About $450 a load, 30 loads.
I figured that's about 30,000. That's how many loads?
That's 30.
30. And we need it.
30 loads at 450?
I think so.
That's like 15 grand.
Oh, okay, hold on. He has 30 loads. But yeah, so that's gonna be a good thing. I need to be pleased with it.
Yeah, and if it works out good, I think we need to look into doing that at least once a year for the next couple of years, just
Mhm.
getting a good base put down, because the stuff we got is just not good. So,
It just skims off.
yeah, and every time it rains, it just,
I
everything
think what
goes
happens
down.
too is the roads are so compacted that anything we put on doesn't really,
Yeah.
so you need that gritty, you know, something
Yeah.
that'll actually adhere to it. It's like clay.
Yeah.
Like we saw that with the Skyline Terrace Road, it's like clay.
Yep.
It's so compacted.
Cool.
Okay. Leo, you wanna talk about the upcoming,
There are two more suits that are coming due this December, East and Days. And so typically, you know, we have to make a recommendation to the county commission for those two board seats. So typically, if the people want to stay in their seat, we just make that recommendation, but if you want to bring it open, you know, the people consider, but if you guys need to declare what you want to do first.
I'd like to stay, but I'll tell you what, this will be the last time I ask that question, to do it. But I'd like to stay for the transition of what's going on right now. And also, I've had two individuals that have put their names in to take place too.
Yeah, and in December, I think I'll probably be done.
Ken Barney is one of them, the other was Rich Corolla, just so y'all know.
Well, they need to write an application for the
Yeah, we have.
commissioners, don't they?
Leo's got it. The records of interest in the job. Leo's got it. Huh. Okay.
Quick question. How long are the terms on the board?
There are 4-year terms.
4 years.
Okay,
So we replace half the board every 2 years, more or less.
Yeah. I don't think we ever replaced the board, but, something like that.
That's the theory. That was supposed to work.
okay. How many of us all got the conflict of interest policy? Good, okay. It says we have to put it in by January, is that correct? January 1st?
January of each year.
Each year, okay.
I wasn't sure how Ron filled that out, because I wasn't sure what he's declaring. I was just hoping to see the whole one. I wasn't quite sure what I needed or wanted to fill out.
You have a form that you look at?
David's had one around.
David said, yeah, but it's got a lot of, I mean, it's got a lot of bracketed information. Are we supposed to be putting information in the bracketed area, or? So I was a little unclear.
Some of it's the terminology. I'm not a legal person.
Never mind.
Yeah, this is one that I just pulled off of the state website, and so the information in the bracket has to do mainly with elk meadows, special service.
So you just-
Is what would go in the bracket.
Do you want us to strike the bracket and put EMSSD above it, or how do you want us to, do you have a?
Well, what I mean is basically if you are doing business with
Oh, yeah.
vendors, then you need to list your business, and if it's just you, or if it's a company or an LLC or something, that you have more than 10% interest in, and your family has, then you list that. List that, like that's just something that happens from time to time, but, in addition to filing your disclosure form, anytime something comes up on the agenda where you're actually meeting with them, then you have to put that on the minutes of the meeting, and you have this conflict of interest too. You're not gonna participate in the decision because you're basically on the other side of the table requesting something. Well, that's basically what we're talking about, conflicts of interest. And it doesn't mean that you can't, you can't still bill the business, it just means you have to disclose it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm aware of that part, I just, it was the filling out of this. Yeah, do you fill in this?
I will, yeah, I was just waiting for to understand what.
Understand, yeah. Where, so for example, yeah, you got yours, I'm gonna do, where, for example, I, such as a newly appointed entity name, so if, for example, I think that, yeah, Pinnacle Pines and or Eagles Nest, then I would fill, I get it.
Just fill that in, say, yeah, I have an interest in that.
So I'll just strike entity name and handwrite it in.
Right.
I'm just wondering if there was some kind of a Word form document that we could use, to fill it in nicely, or I get hung up on the small stuff. Okay, I understand the conflict, I understand all that you said.
There's only two people who will do that, lawyers and accountants.
Yeah, I know.
The rest of us do roll. Okay.
The statement is supposed to be online, posted on the county website, so people can look at it if they want.
And that's where you got it from, Dave?
Yes.
Okay, good, yeah. I'll pull it, PDF it. Okay.
Okay. Update on water line relocation, is that what they were talking about?
Yeah, so it may be, there's nothing to act on right now, so I'll just
Yeah.
give you the same update I did by email. If and when the new subdivision, which is above Skyline Terrace, gets installed, which I expect will, but I just say if and when because it hasn't had, that new water system will basically replace what that water line does, that old water line, so there won't have to be, we can just abandon
What
it
did
at
you
that.
call subdivision, Skyline what?
It's going to be called Aquila, Aquila, but its working name is Leaf Holdings, that's the entity that owns that land.
So basically, you're just gonna put the new one in the other side and abandon that one?
Yeah, it's not me to decide, but
Yeah,
we won't need that old one anymore, because we'll have a brand new, it'll connect right to Skyline
That's my
Terrace.
opinion.
Yeah, and then we'll just abandon
Makes
that one.
sense.
And I think Brandon, first of all, the engineer said that works. So
I
just
have
from a
that
factual
map if
standpoint.
you want me to pull it up, I just wasn't sure if you wanted me to
Sunrise had
bear
that.
out your plans on.
It doesn't matter to me if people want to see them, sure.
Was it Sunrise you were talking to?
I've been dealing with Sunrise and Jones in the Mill.
Okay, that's what.
Working on this.
Okay.
So I just pulled it up here on the screen. If you look right here, that's where our current water line is. The upper blue line there. The other plan we had was to replace it with that lower blue line, which we're gonna abandon that plan, it sounds like. And instead, abandon both those lines and run the new main all the way over, down the road, and tie back in over this direction. So there will be no water line in the ski run right there. It'll end up bringing it through this neighborhood and down the Upper Lodge Road, and it'll eliminate the issue if we have a problem in the wintertime.
Yeah, but I say there's two main benefits to it. Number one is it's all brand new plumbing, with all the right engineering and everything. And number two, if we ever had to fix it, it's very easy to fix it in that neighborhood with a, accessible road, whereas on the ski run, it would be much harder.
Right. Yeah, there's a couple of things on there, but just looking at the emails between the engineers, I think we've addressed them all. I just would like to see them on paper, but everything else looks good to me.
So is there a
cost difference, or is it gonna basically just be washed?
It'll be free to you guys, I mean, I have to pay for the whole thing and donate it anyway, which is normal for a new subdivision. Before it was, I was asking to remove an existing line that didn't have anything to do with me putting in a new one, so there was a question about who pays for that, but that is now a moot point.
Yeah, and
Okay.
It looks like it's got everything in the roads now, so we'll have access
Yeah.
for maintenance.
Yep.
Okay. Policy for contractors working on EMSSD roadway.
Oh, yeah, this came from me, so I don't know if you guys have been up there
Oh.
this week, but the Upper Meadows Road, so, I have to be accurate in how I say it. So there's a developer developing the state's parcel on the side of the road there, on Upper
Sitla?
Meadows Road, yeah. And, they started installing without meeting Beaver County's requirements to install. They didn't have final plat yet.
Who's
So
there?
I understand that they were, asked to stop that, but, and then when they stopped, and even while they were working, like, the road is a mess. There's mud everywhere on the road. There's no bar ditch anymore, so that, the dirt comes all the way to the edge of the road, so every time it rains, it slides in there. So, and I think Brandon's already sorted all of this out.
I did, I met
You
with
wanna tell them what, yeah?
I met with Mark Raines, who's the developer on it, and Skylar, who's the contractor. And
Yardley?
Do a.
Yardley?
Yes. And I told him pretty much everything you just said. The entire road needs to be clean, the bar ditch needs to be put back in order, and there has to be culverts under every one of those driveways that they're building. Otherwise, it's a moot point to put in a bar ditch, it's just gonna wash out the road anyways. So, and I told him all that needs to happen ASAP, like, can't have it how it is. So that, I think we resolved that, I just met with them yesterday, so,
So they agreed?
yeah, they agreed. And then they did get the county back on board to let them finish their tie-in. So he'll get that done, and then he's been in works with the asphalt people to come patch his road cut, so that should all be taken care of here pretty quick.
Okay. And then I think that they need to make sure they communicate with you, so you can communicate with Heidi and the rest of us, so we can tell the community, that you can't drive on the road this particular day, or this couple of hours, or,
Yeah,
any of
that
those.
kind of took off like that, and I wasn't ready for it, and nobody else was either.
Right.
So,
And then I think that when you're working on an asphalt road especially, at least every week, like Friday, they should cut early, they should clean the road, and then they can start again Monday. It's not like you do a job for 3 months, leave the road a mess, and then decide then to clean it up.
right.
And then there's one last thing, I don't have it with me, I need to find out where it is, but several years ago when Jeremy was here, I created it was called like a water service connection permit or something. It was basically for the EMSSD. So for a developer to get, it had to get your signature, David's signature, and I think Dee's signature, and it had to show that you've already gotten the county, you've gotten all the things you need to
Lined
do,
up.
so that you would show up to us, show up to Brandon, and basically get final approval to start, and then Brandon would have control over, like, okay, what is the PPE, what is the cleaning requirement, what is...
Just like you're talking about, put it in.
Yeah, so I'll circulate that, we can look at that for the next meeting. We already approved it once, it's in place, I think it was under Jeremy though, and you never
Yeah.
saw it.
Who?
It was back in Jeremy's day, your buddy, you got them. That's all I have on the roadway. Oh, well, it's not a huge issue, that culvert you dug out in front of the studio cabin.
The one just on the other side of the
Yeah,
road.
do you think it would benefit you to line that with anything? Do you think it would just get clogged again as it is?
Unless we rip-rap all those bar ditches, they're all gonna get clogged
Okay.
over and over again.
And that one must have been completely clogged and buried over, right?
Yeah.
You had to actually go find that?
Almost every one of those I had to go, because find them, they're very, very, so. I found them all, and most of them are
On
open.
the west side of the road?
There's one on the east side of the road in front of the studio cabins, it's a huge hole. There's really nothing he can do about it, because the culvert's way below the
Yeah.
surface.
Yeah, the culvert's
And it's right there, and it doesn't go out, so you can't even backfill to it, so it's like, there's a little, we almost need a couple boulders, I don't know, it's a dangerous section of the road.
Yeah, try not to drive off the road right there.
You'll
be off the road.
You need help, you'll have to need help right now to do that.
Try not to.
Some guy went to come up with this. That's great. I'm glad you have that.
Yeah, I don't know who owns that property right there either, off where that culvert is.
high on both sides.
Because if we were to dig back into there just a little bit, kind of open that up and give the water a place to run into, it wouldn't be as dramatic of a hole, but it would clean it up quite a bit.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how far we could go that
We
direction.
can look at that. I think, I mean, we need that culvert to work. It's a
Yeah.
critical culvert right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Operations.
Water system status, everything is working great.
You sound like a little chicken.
When you're done with that, then that will be connected to the system?
Yeah, so I gotta wait, Gator's gonna be here next week to finish his programming on it. And then, Tyler from Sunrise has already put in the request for an operating permit with the state. They've already given us a temporary operating permit, so I can technically run it, once the SCADA guy gets everything tuned in.
Yeah.
But I'd prefer to wait for the full operating permit, just in case there's any sort of issue there. If we need it, I can turn it on, but we don't right now, so.
But it's our expectation and objective to have it on for this winter?
If everything goes as planned before the next meeting, I should be operational.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That's the first redundancy we've ever had for water.
No doubt.
Winter redundancy.
He was telling me when they have both running, you can fill the tank in a day.
Oh, I'm sure.
The
Yeah.
tanks.
When everything's running good, it'll flow a lot of water.
How's Puffer looking?
Upper's looking good. We got fences up, gates are up.
Oh, well, look at that.
It's all put back together. We got a new shoe box style lid on the tank that was always buried, that nobody ever knew how big it was. Now it's accessible and for maintenance.
How big is it?
About 8,000 gallons.
Is it?
Yeah,
Jeez.
nobody knew that.
Was that one just adjacent, did you pull in on the right?
Yeah, yep,
Right next to the comics box?
yeah.
Okay.
Up on that knoll there.
That's interesting.
Everything else on the water system, I mean, just besides typical wear and tear stuff that we're dealing with all the time, everything seems to be great. Flow measurements, Puffer was putting out about 60 gallons a minute when I was there a couple days ago. The triple chair, we're still working on that, but the last measurement I did was about 70 gallons a minute. But it's slowing down, it's pretty quick right now. And then the Forest River Spring's doing about 15 gallons a minute right now.
It's diving off, huh?
That spring is,
You know, it's a
yeah,
mess.
it's a mess.
You think we're still going to be able to get some money to do that?
I would hope so. I don't know, something needs to be done with it at some
It
point.
isn't part of the master plan ever?
I don't know if it is in the master plan, but it should be.
Brandon, do you think that, there's maybe just one section that freezes that you could bury, or do you have to freeze up through the whole line?
I don't know necessarily that the line leaving the spring is the biggest issue. It's the collection points in the spring, and I actually got a video of it the other day. So there's 3 to 4 collection outlets coming into that spring collection box, and only one of them's running water. The other ones are clogged up and full.
You just need to redo the spring.
The spring needs to be redone for sure.
What, was it a trench we had to get around the back of it to clean all that up? On the upside?
Yeah, so the
I wouldn't
trench is
do
to
it.
defer water away from
Here,
the
we just
spring.
off nice.
Yeah.
But we don't think we need to redo all the piping.
I mean, yeah, in the grand scheme, yeah, it would be great to redo all the piping, but redoing all the piping and not the spring first is
Yeah.
kind of crazy, just because
Yeah.
without redoing the spring, you don't know what you're getting into,
Right.
so.
It's pretty interesting because there are places up there where it's just coming up out of the ground, or
Yeah,
that's contamination too, so there's some issues there.
yeah, you don't want water bubbling out of the ground where your spring collection is.
But, that's the first time I've been up to Shane, the fence was dang good.
It's up to that, yeah.
It is good.
Yeah, if you've got the oxygen in your lungs to get back there and see it, it's pretty good.
Yeah, if you don't have a 32-inch inseam, and go with that damn fence.
Bill just ride horses back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon, I have a question.
Yeah.
For the Puffer Spring, is there any relationship between the flows of the creek that comes down and water usage from the spring?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so the very
I
top.
just noticed it seems like the flows are pretty diminished, you know.
Yeah, so for the most part, that when we're overflowing, when we're not pumping, that we're just sending it all down that creek. There is several more springs going down that
Yeah.
canyon that keep
Yeah.
it running. But yeah, when we're not pumping and it's overflowing, then that creek will flow a lot faster. And when we are pumping, we pull back however many gallons a minute that we're sending out of that, so.
Great, thanks. I was curious about that.
Brandon, what's the timeline for making the water meters fully functional?
That's a hard one, because getting into everybody's place has been more difficult than I assumed it would be.
So it probably won't be this year then.
I'm still working on trying to get it done this year, but I've got 100 units to put in, and I'm getting a hold of like 2 to 3 people a week, so.
We should probably pick a date, like next summer, because we also need some time going up to that to decide how we're going to change, like, okay, now we have meters, so what does that mean?
Because last year, or the year before, we raised the road to 110 from 100, right? And then we have the water fee based upon, you know, what the status of the water is, whether they're using it or in standby.
The ERU system.
And so we didn't make that change, we just made it by motion in the minutes. But typically, I prepare a resolution that we adopt that has all the rates in it. And so I didn't do that on that because I thought we were going to do a new resolution where we're going to incorporate water meters. And when we do that, then we'll have a different kind of billing system based upon a base rate and then a rate per 1,000 gallons or something that they use over the base rate that they would pay. And when we do that, we have to make sure that our base rate is still covering our costs that we have right now. But then the other rate will make sure that people that are using the water are also paying extra for it if they're using extra water. So when we're ready to do that, I'm ready to create a resolution for that, but that's not like we're quite ready yet. But
Yeah, we need to have most of those installed before we can set that up, I believe.
yeah, you need to like have several months of just
I think you need to have about a year just because it's a seasonal area.
Yeah, you're right.
How do they do the condos?
Do what?
Just the condos, just one meter?
Most of the condos have individual shut-offs, which means
Well,
I
I was
can
gonna say,
meter them
the
individually.
concrete pad one doesn't. Right?
Yeah, the Mount Holly Condo Association, those are both gonna have to be on individual meters, and they're just gonna have to
Divvy that.
resolve that through their HOA.
Okay.
And then the roads, I mean, I guess we talked about roads already. So.
Okay. So, we've done everything, agenda request. Clifford?
Yeah, so we had a couple different questions. One of them was, we were hoping to get approval for combining lots. Oh, sorry. I don't know how any of this works,
Tell us who you are, for the record.
I'm Jack Clifford, owner of lot 16 and 17, if we're going by the numbers.
Parcels 1-10-8 and 1-10-9.
Okay.
In the far corner.
And I'm Tuesday, Jackie's partner.
Okay.
Yeah, so one of our questions was about approval for combining lots. Back 5 years ago, we thought we went through the process of combining the lots.
By calling the county.
Realized it was just combining them for receiving one tax notice. But we're still interested in doing that if possible. They told us the best way to do that is approval from the FSC as well as the county, and then going through the rest of the process that we would go through to combine them. So we're wondering if there's a process we go through to get approval from the FSC.
So both of those lots are in the assessment area, and so we actually don't quite have the water line to their lots yet, but it's close. And so we need to do that, but they have 2 assessments because they have 2 lots, and so that's quite a financial obligation. And in addition, they're getting 2 bills for each lot for the quarterly fees. And so I did check with the county, and they informed me that they haven't actually gone through the process combining lots. And so, you know, right now we're stuck with those bills for you. We can't really talk about any changes in it. So we'll have to try and work with you on those assessments and also the quarterly fees. But if you do combine the lots, then David could probably work with you on combining the quarterly fees. But we're kind of stuck with that assessment for right now.
So we need to go through the county first and then come through, okay.
Yeah, we just, if the county combines the lots, then we're kind of stuck with that decision. And so then we'll end up combining the bills into one, but also you need to let us know if you have plans to build at some point and you need the water, because we'll make sure we get that to you when you're ready to use it.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest things is just that we, you know, have quite a few bills for both lots, and right now we don't have the water ramp to it yet. I know they're working on it, I believe, but I think one of the biggest questions with the water is because where our lots are located, I don't know, I feel like it would have to be an easement through a neighbor's property to get the line even up to me, and I don't know of an easement that exists.
There's an easement.
There is.
It runs right up in between those two lots.
Okay.
Up to there because you've got all the easements for the original project, and we pulled the service lines out of that project due to funding. And the line that went up to their lots was supposed to be a service line and not a main line. That's where we're having the disconnect on all this.
Oh, so the water's in, it's just gonna be a long service line?
It's a very long service
Okay,
line. It's
that's all right.
Straight up.
That's all right.
Does it run down the last hydrant?
No, so right when you cross the creek, if you were to go straight up that hill through that lot, it's the lot behind it. So.
And then the second part of that is my only way to actually drive to my property right now is an old Forest Service road, which you can barely get an ATV up.
Yeah.
It's an old trail that I kind of, you know, just made up. But in order to build an access my lot with a vehicle, I don't want to try to figure out what the process would be to do that, because if you ran that same easement, it's like straight up. I don't think you could build a road straight up like that.
The road might be an issue for that section. The
Yeah.
water can go wherever, but.
It's just tough when I can't even, you know, get to my property, so we're just trying to move forward and figure out solutions.
But I don't know if that's a road easement either. It's a utility easement, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a road easement.
I don't know if there's any options for trying to figure out an easement through the National Forest Old Road, but we always say probably not if we're going to a special service district, so I'm not sure. Just trying to make some progress somehow.
Have you talked to the Forest Service at all about that road?
I have not, and if that's something that it might be an option, I would like to reach out to them and see what they say.
Because I think we can maintain the road to the top of that hill, but where it enters Forest Service, we're not allowed to.
Right.
Forest Service's roads.
I didn't think so, I'm not sure.
Yeah, do we know what kind of timeline we're looking at for the potential of when water reaches our property?
I want to talk with Leo first before I give you a direct answer on that, just to make sure we do it all.
We need to go look at the original plat, because it should have a road
Yeah, I don't know how it.
to get to those lots, and I think maybe we should look at the original plat and see what it has.
Yeah, because there's a fee for the road service, right? Is that supposed to go all the way to our property, or?
I think it's just a general use of all the roads up there.
Okay.
And it's standby water, isn't it, at this point? Fees?
Yeah, they're gonna be on standby.
Okay.
Once we have, is that the designation when water is available? But they haven't actually,
System irrigation.
you know. So,
Yeah, since you said you guys would go to the building department to ask them about that, when you go up, it's actually just downstairs.
Downstairs,
Yeah,
okay,
the building
great.
department. Probably Melissa. Melissa will be the one that greets you, but I'm
Right.
sure who will help you out with that.
Okay. Yeah, there's
Change
a.
all those.
I think when you're in there, you should ask them, to pull the original plat and ask where the road
Yeah.
is. If there's not a road, then you might have a difference, and you might have an unbuildable lot situation, and then there's a whole different.
Okay.
Yeah.
set of conditions to explore, but they will be able to answer both of those questions, how to combine, and what does the plat show as your road access? You know, she'll have it right in that offer permit.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's it on our end. Maybe after the meeting, I was gonna connect and settle up on some things, but that's.
Yeah, I don't know if you're available at some point today,
Take money.
for us to be able to.
They'd like to take the money.
Yeah. But that's about it on our end.
Okay.
He'll never shake his head no to that.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys.
Okay,
Fire.
what's that?
Fire.
I've reached out to Jack and made other inquiries, no one gave me any new information than from what you guys got last night.
That news may be good news.
Granted, I didn't give him a lot of headway, but just a few days.
Okay.
One thing, I talked to George the other day, and he did say that they were gonna begin, whenever the conditions are right, treating some of those piles around, so
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be, signs, but there'll be some controlled burning of those little piles when the snow.
Yeah, been in for subdivision,
You sure did.
will they burn it yet?
No,
But they will.
it's cleaned up.
Yeah, it's clean, that's true.
Was that all that wood down there, that's your subdivision, I guess?
Right on the highway?
No, as you go up to the,
Yeah, that's the shop.
All the
No.
shop.
Up to the shop?
No.
yeah, there's all sorts of stuff there.
You see a bunch of piles?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's where they cleared it out, they cleaned it out real nice.
That's awesome, yeah.
Did you get your
That's a lot of wood.
thing on the corner, the water line fixed too?
I think
In
we
your
did.
lot?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Brandon would know that, they moved it, they moved it.
You
So
said
now
shut
I got the road.
Shut up. Shut up.
Oh, wait, I think we need to address.
Oh, we're not gonna-
His part,
Shane,
it's
drag
his
him out,
part.
video, will you? Okay. Shane, what's going on?
Water.
Oh,
Water
deal.
deal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you got that big deal, didn't you? I was gonna walk right past this thunder. Go, deal.
So I need to bring you up to date. I filed a change application mainly on our Class A 1870 water rights. And the difference that we're asking for is because we acquired the Rocky Ford shares, and so we wanted to take out the requirement that we store water in the summer and release it in the winter, and we just apply our Rocky Ford water shares toward that winter use water that we have to make up for. And so basically that change order was kind of prepared by the state of Utah Water Rights Department, and they included it in our Class A water, but we also had some other water rights. There was a time when the Elk Meadows Estates people were worried because they were basically approved with the Kensley Class B water rights. So they started acquiring water, but the water they acquired wasn't Class A 1870, but it was like Class A 1903. So I was able to get, I think, maybe 4 acre-feet of that from the people that own lots, because they won't approve, they want these water rights, but they wouldn't approve it unless it's part of a public water system. And so there was like about 7 acre-feet, and there's a couple of people, Doug Carriger still owns like an acre-feet or 2, but he's not even up there anymore, and another guy owns some, and they wouldn't give them to me. But these others that I acquired are included in this change application, so they were basically approved as long as they were part of the public water system before the requirement was put in by the state that it had to be 1870 water rights. So I've got that, and also that KMJ had 15 acre-feet of water that they gave to us, and it was, it's basically to service the Puffer Lake property that they sold to the county. And so we have that too, and that's included in the change application, because that was approved before they made that requirement. Just as,
What about the other KMJA Class A water? Is that in the change application?
yeah,
Okay, good.
that's the 150.
Are you trying to say you've cleaned up almost everything?
We're close, close.
No kidding.
So they advertised my change application, and the advertisement said anyone protesting had to do it by October 21st. So I haven't seen any protests yet, but, you know, there may be some. But they just haven't, you know, put it on the website yet. Maybe there have been some, but I would assume, I was expecting Beaver City and Rocky Fort to protest, because they always protest everything. And I sent them the information individually to their attorneys, you know, in addition to filing the change application, so they know about it. But I haven't seen anything from them yet, and so I'm not sure what the position is they're gonna take. And then you need to know that we have all of these old orders on the Kent's Lake water that we have, and so I have to file a separate change application on that, and I have the documentation on that, but I have to try and get Kent's Lake to sign it with us, so that's gonna be a challenge. And then I'll also be getting shortly, or sometime down the road, another change application on the Mammoth Canal water that we have.
We're going way back.
That goes way back, and in fact, the guy at the water department didn't know what to do, because there wasn't a memorandum decision, it was called an exchange decision. It was so long ago that they approved that, but all those required the store and release provisions, and so we're trying to do away with those on everything. So I'll be filing those when I can get, you know.
You'd think they'd all be happy just to sign it and get it done.
Well, hopefully they all.
No, that would be against the way of water.
I know.
The way of water.
I know. It's just
It's been going on from the minute we.
You talk Mammoth, and now they're a hockey team in Utah.
Yeah, so,
Mammoth Canal.
well, anyway, we're working on all that, and hopefully we'll get a decision from the state engineer. And then once we get that, we can just get our engineers to prove up on the water, and then we'll be in good shape, so.
So what you're saying is you're standing poised, ready to finish it?
Yeah, we're hopefully getting
Okay.
to the finish line after 25 years.
Yeah.
Preconditions to retirement for Leo.
Yeah.
Sort that all out before we let
You know
him
what?
go.
Hey, that's why he's standing.
David earned his retirement.
That's why he's
We're all right with him.
stating his
Leo
case,
can't go
though,
yet.
vehemently. That's why he's doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, please, oh, please. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
On the matter of water, the KMJA people are the Joyce Barney and the people who used to own Popper.
Oh, okay.
We have finally reached an agreement. You know, they're gonna, on that new neighborhood that you guys gave me the Wilsford letter, I'm probably gonna come back and swap out, so it's not my water, but her water. That's used.
So you're talking to Delta ladies?
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, we're friends.
Get out.
We're friends.
No way.
Yeah, yeah.
And
How
of
much have
course,
to pay 'em?
we are
I had to double
also,
the cost of water, but hey, you know, now, the water, though our water is now as expensive as a water right in some county,
I don't doubt
Beaver
it.
County. Yep,
that's crazy.
What is it?
50,000 acre foot.
50?
Yep.
Holy crap.
I will say that the change application also includes the civil water that we own,
Right.
and they will be using that on that subdivision there, the Jim Range and family. are doing.
We've got that bank, don't we?
Yes, it is banked.
Good Lord.
After-
$50,000? Jeez. Guess I don't have one right now.
You did. Well, you were, it was already in there.
I remember complaining they were buying two before us for $1.89 and it'd never be higher. That's fun. Good.
Eagle Point.
Regarding the cell phone tower, the NEPA study came back, we're good, there were no Native American artifacts, so, now it's in the hands of Verizon to put their.
How come we have service now?
They put new equipment, it's better, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It
It's
is
nice.
nice. They keep adding, I don't know what they're doing, because they just sort of do it, but,
Yeah.
the AT&T equipment that's up there is
Full bore.
good. And then the actually, I think if do you have AT&T, is that why?
No, I have
Okay.
Verizon.
I have Verizon.
Everyone
now.
switched, like Tanner and the guys that work, they all switched to AT&T, and I'll call them on their regular phone, and they'll call me back on the AT&T phone, and so that works really well, but when Verizon comes, it'll work the same way.
I think Verizon's already on.
It's on, it's just not,
So it's
kinda
even
like,
gonna be stronger than it is now.
like the fast lane and the slow lane.
Well, I'm not-
AT&T people go to the
Well, I'm
fast
kind of on a
lane.
hill, so I'm sure I got 4 bars all the time on top of the hill.
Yeah,
So-
well, if you can see it, then
Yeah.
it's pretty good, right?
I talked to the guys that were putting the equipment up on the tower, and they said the stuff they just put on wasn't necessarily for any provider, it's more of a booster for that tower.
Oh, good.
And they just got it turned on, and that's kind of
That's
what
probably why then.
helped everybody out.
So once Verizon actually gets on, this is gonna be
It'll
even,
just even be better, yeah.
wow.
Yeah. It'll be a real tough time.
And you can get a streaming circuit.
It's working beautifully.
You can get a streaming circuit up there right now for $25.
And it's not always the highest line, a streaming service.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How do you get internet here?
Well, since the snow took my roof and chimney and dish out, I haven't had for 2 or 3 years.
Okay, you have it.
You know, wonderful snowstorms that come and tear your roof off. Anyway, good.
That's all I have.
How's your TV down there?
How's my
How's your TV going down there?
oh, it's, I use Starlink
Do you?
over there.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, that's amazing, actually.
Yeah, it is.
But the cell coverage, they put an amplifier on the tower.
I was
Did like
curious.
4 weeks ago, and I didn't have coverage anywhere. I had a little booster that I use, my own little kind of, amplifier tower, and so it only works at my RV, but when they put the amplifier in, I can make phone calls from the build site now, which is like, when it happens, it lit up my phone. I can't get a call here, what's going on?
I'm just curious, because you're down the hole.
Yeah, it's actually, especially, as the county develops that for recreation, I think that cell coverage for, just public safety purposes is really gonna be helpful.
Sure,
So,
that's fantastic. We don't have to use messengers and.
It's a nice change.
Yeah.
For peace, go to it. Yeah, okay. General discussion, other business, old business we need to talk about, we covered it all. Scott?
Well, I motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.